Okay, ladies and gentlemen, another what the fuck. And this one's going to be interesting because I haven't tried this before. So my good friend Dale sent me a message saying switch on channel 9 now on a current affair. They're normalising heart failures, sudden heart failures. So I've never done this before, but I'm going to give it a crack. I'm going to record my reaction as I watch this episode of A Current Affair.
Xavier was 20, fit, healthy and happy, tackling life full steam ahead. But behind his smile was a ticking time bomb, a gene for sudden cardiac attack, which kills 5 young Australians every week. Now the campaign to change that in Xavier's name.
You know, we had the perfect lead up, that's a good thing.
It was an unspeakably hard day.
10 and a half in, feeling right, you know.
We're very lost. The sky went very dark on the 2nd of October, very dark.
Fit and full of life, Xavier O'Grady took on the world with a big heart and a big smile.
I always felt with Xavier that from the time he was little that there was just a light that shone through him, and other people knew that too.
Xavier's parents, Alison and Patrick.
He brought an enormous amount of joy to our family. It's just who he was.
A law student, writer and sportsman, Xavier had just finished a season with Sydney's Mossman Colts rugby team when, last October, the family travelled to Melbourne to watch Patrick and Xavier run the half marathon.
He'd run a half marathon earlier in the year, and he and I, 2 weeks prior to the Melbourne weekend, had gone for a 10k cruise around Centennial Park.
The marathon finish line is at Melbourne's MCG, and as Xavier completed his run, he collapsed, rushed to hospital with his family close behind.
We were ushered into a room where the presiding doctor came and saw us and basically said it was not good news. Essentially, he told us that there was nothing they could do, and while he technically wasn't dead at that point, he was on life support. They were really only keeping him on life support so that we could go and say goodbye.
I sang to him a song we used to sing together, Love of My Life, and I sang that to him, and we held him and we kissed him, and we said, go well, and processing it is just unbelievable.
Xavier remained in Melbourne for an autopsy, which found no health issues or heart disease. He'd suffered a freak, sudden cardiac event.
So here's the problem. At the start of this, they mentioned something about a gene that he had. Now they're changing the story and they're saying a freak, sudden cardiac arrest. And they can't figure out the cause. Well, I'd love to put my 2 cents worth in, but we know that I can't mention Voldemort from Harry Potter, can I?
Alison and Patrick returned to Sydney. A week later, the funeral director called. Xavier was now home too.
He said, Xavier's back and he's in our care, and that it kind of felt, even it was some relief knowing at least he's back here, somewhere near us.
More than 1,400 people attended Xavier's funeral at St Mary's, North Sydney.
His chaplain came over to me in the middle of the funeral and he put his arms on me and he said, Ali, I want you to turn around. And he said, I want you to see who's here for Xavier and how many people really loved him.
In Australia, up to 5 young people under the age of 35 each week have sudden cardiac death, which is a lot more than people sort of know about.
Well, how long has this been happening? Why don't they mention that?
Professor Chris Semsarian from the Centenary Institute at Sydney's Royal Prince Alfred Hospital is the world's leading researcher on sudden cardiac death in young people.
We know sudden cardiac death in older people is usually due to blocked arteries, smoking, cholesterol, those sort of things we all know about. But in young people under the age of 35, we believe more commonly it's an underlying genetic problem or a fault in a gene that they were born with that leads to the sudden cardiac death event.
You've got to be shitting me. So there's no mention of what it possibly could be that a few of us are thinking, maybe one or two of us, but you can't prove it that, well, if there's been an autopsy done, wouldn't you be able to identify the gene that he's trying to blame it on? Let's keep going.
Professor Semsarian is studying Xavier's case and others, learning more about the relevant genes to identify who might be at risk and hopefully prevent further loss of life.
What we learned from Xavier and his death, we can translate to knowledge that will help many people around the country.
Alison and Patrick have founded Heartbeats for Xave, an organisation to raise funds for the professor's research. This QR code will take you to more information about what they're up to, and we're going to leave it there for the rest of the story.
So we are actually quite overwhelmed by the extent of the support.
Donations are still very welcome. A fundraising event is scheduled for March 24 at Mossman Rugby Club, and the organisation is planning to have a group run in Xavier's name at the Gold Coast Marathon in July.
This freak arrhythmic phenomenon really does need...
Why can't we talk about what it possibly could be? It's a freak phenomenon. Why can't we suggest that it could be something that has been going on the last 2 years? I feel like crying actually watching this. This is just...
careful and close examination, and I'd like to think that this is just the start of Xavier's foundation.
Did you feel like heaven?
At Xavier's funeral, music by the Aussie band DMAs was played. The song Silver was one of Xavier's favourites.
Still, I'm trying to fight.
It speaks of looking to the sun for someone special. The day Xavier passed may have brought darkness, but his legacy will shine a light on an important cause.
If we can save just one family from going through the absolute devastation and grief that our family is going through, then that will be a good outcome.
And well done to Xavier's beautiful parents. It is hard speaking publicly about grief, and I'm sure their message will help save lives. Up next...
I could be totally wrong, but what is really disturbing is why? Why can't we talk? Why can't we talk about what it possibly could be? Why are doctors still shut down from talking about Voldemort? It's just crazy times. I feel really sorry for these parents because we know we can't look into a certain possibility like that is already ruled out. It's not talked about, and Channel 9, you're gaslighting. You're just deflecting. I could be totally wrong. Could be a sudden freak cardiac arrest. Anyway, peace out, subscribe, like. It's not mandated if you don't want to. Thank you guys.